So that is Krishna house from Cherthala. It is a 4,100 square feet 4-bedroom house. So let's hear the comments. Anna, moving on to the exterior landscape form and character.
Landscape, here you see a lot of plants in pots. When you keep different potted plants, try to keep the similar kind of plants. So that will bring in some sort of, it will tie together. If you keep different plants, you don't get that. The building is well placed in the site, like it is at a good distance from the gate. You feel very impressive, that whole thing. There are a lot of columns. In the sit out, they have a very practical sit out tucked into one side. What happens there is the column size suddenly decreases when you reach the sit out. Then they have gone overboard with the cladding stone. They could have used it a little less. And the windows are small. They could have had bigger windows. They have a beautiful big plot in front. They've tucked away the car porch to one side, so it's not the first thing that you see. So all those things are good. Overall it's an okay, impressive house from outside.
Arun, your opinion?
They have a big site, and they've used the grand space in the front to create all the drama. They haven't added any extra larger trees there, but instead they just continued the whole thing on the ground with a lawn and potted plant landscaping mainly on the edges. The paving is looking good. Means they have not gone for the typical glossy cement pavers. They have gone for the matte type cement concrete pavers. It gives you good, and the pattern is also refreshing. It's not a very common pattern. The driveway is looking interesting. And then when you reach the house has got slopes as the predominant character. They have got 3 portico kind of structures, and I think 3 of them have a seating space. So this is an interesting thing. The house in the form looks very simple. They've used the slopes. It doesn't have a specific traditional character or even a colonial character. They've just gone for the portico with flat gables in front.
Now coming to the interior, flooring and kitchen.
When you enter into the living room, what you see is the back side of the sofa. They've got a beautiful wall that, and this they've used that for just keeping 2 curio cabinets.
Okay.
I would always suggest, if there's a big wall, put your heaviest furniture there. Here, the sofa. That makes the living room more inviting. Okay. Here it's like it's blocking. Then if you notice, they've put different kinds of tiles in between. Go for something similar, same color. Too many things makes it very confusing. The house is good, but the interiors, they have space. It's not that it's congested.
Okay.
Just have to rework the furniture part.
Your remarks?
Seeing the back of the sofa is not that appealing. Like she was telling, they could have always put it onto the wall, so that part is covered out, and smaller seats come into the passages and open areas where people walk through. Then the next thing I noticed is 2 single cabinets standing in the way. It should be moved away to some corner or into some other space where it feels connected. They shouldn't be there like how it's staying. Then when you move across, the staircase has got a very different handrail detail altogether.
Okay.
Probably a little bit of wood would have changed the whole thing. The steel and the glass and things like that, it's standing out like anything. Kitchen is really big. They've kind of joined the work area and the kitchen together. There are a lot of cabinets, wooden cabinets. It's done completely in wood. The tiles on the walls also look neat. They've gone for slightly greyish granite on the floor. That's also interesting, but I hope it's not that slippery. Then they got beds which are really gaudy looking, heavy headboards and orange curtains. And the next room you see purple curtains. So this, I don't know how it works out. It's a personal choice. And again, wall pattern in the staircase, it's made that area very dark. Should have been a little more lighter. The staircase does stand out well, but that area becomes very dark because of the light reflected from there.
I have a point to add about the staircase. Many people have a fascination for the spiral staircase. That is usually done when there is a space constraint. I don't think there is actually a space constraint when it comes to this house.
Now coming to the color, decor and lighting.
Color is kind of basic in the living areas. Whatever they have done is, in the living area actually you find an orange curtain. But other than that, you don't see anything. And what they have done, the only thing they have done is they have gone for a yellow paint in the area below the lintel. And the next dark shade is on the staircase side wall. And then comes the bedrooms. where they have tried with all sorts of colors. You find blue, you find purple, you find the color of the bed sheets, and it's like a big messy area. Means they should try and keep it low on the sleeping area. If the colors are very loud, whenever there is light, you feel like moving out fast. So you need pleasant shades in the bedroom to be there. So same thing is continued everywhere. There is no striking color differences other than the curtains. I think the curtains only steal the show.
And Anna?
In terms of pieces, the dining table is very high, the beds are very heavy, and they have combined all this with very strong colored curtains. They are not curtains, they are Roman blinds. The thing is, I wouldn't suggest a Roman blind for a French window. So either you can pull it down, or it's all up. Had they put shears on it, it would have got and still they could have had that orange on the sides and something lighter in between. It would have given a sense of airiness. Now it looks very overpowering and doesn't really match with the wall color. They just bring a sheer curtain over this Roman blind. It might do wonders.
It cuts the light completely. It's so dense that it cuts the light.
Okay. Now coming to the overall ambience.
Ambience is just pleasant. I mean, exteriors is much better compared to the interiors. Exteriors has got a very classy nature altogether. It's situated in such a way that you drive down to the front of the house. It's got 3 well-positioned porticos, dividing the whole thing into 2 parts.
Okay.
And the roofing is also very simple. The external ambience oversees the internal ambience. Internal needs to be a little more worked on. They can definitely change the whole thing by just changing the curtains and probably repositioning the furniture. That's the only thing probably that will be needed. So I think ambience is just average.
Then
the grand look of the house, it's not actually supported inside the house. The interiors the soft furnishings actually don't support it. So overall, that makes the whole thing into an average one. Otherwise, from outside, it looks pretty decent.